How you doing, guys? Welcome back. It's LSP. It's currently the 5th of July, 2022. The markets have been very slow over the last sort of 2-3 days. We are getting a little bit of pickup today, but I want to kind of figure out whether or not this very small pickup of volume is going to be, sort of met with buying, or is it just a little rally, within this very sort of long drawn out downtrend, and can we expect to see lower prices, in the coming week? With all of that said, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you find value in what I am creating. With all of that said, let's get over to the charts and we'll take a look at what's happening today and going over the next sort of 2-3 days. So as I was saying, if we just drop down to the hourly chart, we can see we've had a little bit of movement to the upside. Okay, took us past 20,000 again, stayed there for a little while, and then obviously we've come back now below 20,000, but we are maintaining that kind of closer relationship with 20k, than we are sort of down here. Over the weekend, we did go sub 19. It did look like at one point we could potentially continue going lower and kind of bleed. If we just go up to the daily, kind of bleed into this liquidity pool below and kind of drive towards 17,000 and sub 17,000. It obviously hasn't happened, and I think we're probably going to get a lot more of this. Now, here's the interesting thing. And just to kind of throw it out there, if this is reversed and then we, kind of take out these lows, then that's one attempt to the upside that was effectively neutralized. So think about it as price was coming down. It's already picked up, a little bit of liquidity and objective fulfillment down here. And then we get this kind of secondary drop. This move right here, this first initial push, if this is met with selling and it's kind of negated or just voided completely, it just neutralizes it. And it's just kind of a pathetic attempt, to just push prices higher. And remember, a lot of people are looking at charts like the 15-minute chart. So they see this insane bullish trend, when in actuality, that's really not the case at all. But if it gets reversed, like I said, it just neutralizes this very small push to the upside. And, more likely we'll just either continue going sideways or continue to bleed lower into 17,000 sub 17,000. My main focus today is going to be on Binance, because Binance, has had this a pretty strong push, and we can see we're looking at the 4-hour here. It's a very strong time frame. So we had that first initial push, from a very tight consolidation. It looks okay. It's just eating into this area over here. You get a little bit of sort of relief or sensitivity from that, but I am expecting maybe something like this. To drive towards 250, which I think is a reasonable target, for Binance, and still maintain, this kind of bearish tone, this annoying driving sideways nonsense. But I think at some point it's really important, for me to stress, and this is just for me and my own personal analysis, I firmly believe that we're going to see 150 on Binance at some point. Now, that doesn't mean don't do anything. That doesn't mean don't engage. That doesn't mean engage. I'm not here to tell anybody what to do with their, their investments or their analysis, with BNB. I don't know. But for me personally, I'm not going to touch BNB until it hits 150, or if it gets way back above 350 and really starts to show signs of, a pretty strong reversal. But at the moment, 150 is on the cards for me. I do believe quite strongly that BNB is going to be going down to 150, and this is why I'm paying very, very close attention to how BNB is kind of moving around. So it would make sense. And like I said, it is very realistic, that price just grinds into this level. And then we'll see what kind of response, we get from that level, assuming it gets there, obviously. But like I said, I am confident it's going to go there. There is some liquidity build up here. There's an imbalance. There's some area over here that price, is looking like in terms of flows, it will want to drive into. So I'm pretty confident, like I said, 250 is on the cards. But with all of that said, there's not really much else to discuss in terms of sort of like the broader market. Now, I want to quickly say as well, you guys hear me say this term a lot, and somebody's been, messaging me, asking me to talk about, the broader market and what does that actually mean. I'll address that in a separate video, but in a nutshell, broader market basically just means the broader cryptocurrency market in the sense of the entire market, right? So when we say I'm looking specifically at Binance, but the broader market is still weak, it's the entire cryptocurrency market is weak. So even if we get a little bit of, strength on Binance, for example, it is very likely that we, get that continuation to the downside, okay? Because the broader market's just weak. But then you have the general market, the entire market, okay? And that entire market effectively is all financial markets, global markets, and so on. And if the entire global market structure is weak, and you're getting some, downside and this bearish tone around the entire globe, it's very unlikely that the assets that you're in or the investments that you're in aren't going to be affected. But that's essentially it. And I will do a kind of, I'm going to try and do a separate video. I'm not going to go into too much detail in terms of broader market stuff, because ultimately it is as simple as I said, but I will revisit it and we will talk about, some things in that respect. But with all of that said, I'll do my best to get an update out later. I will tell you now, I do have to go to the dentist, so it's very unlikely that I'm going to be talking, later. Probably using, my fingers and typing a lot. With that said, I hope everyone's had an absolutely fantastic day. I hope you had a fantastic weekend, and I look forward to speaking to you guys very, very soon. All the best. Take care. Ciao for now.